tops the score against his former club, 29 goals in 28 matches against Borussia Dortmund. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? And what a number as well. He's been speaking after the game. You're going to translate for us, Nico, right?
Yep.
Que el momento que hay tiempo para absolutamente todo. Estamos ya con Robert Lewandowski.
We're here with Robert Lewandowski. How are you?
Buenas noches, muchas gracias.
Yes,
Yo sé que tengo que decir, bueno, todavía no está hecho, pero con 4-0 está casi,
With 4-0,
casi
it's
casi
almost done. You're almost in the semi-final. He
Sí,
asks
creo
or
que
says.
hemos jugado muy bien, pero
I
en
think we
este
played
momento
really
no estamos
well,
pensando
but
sobre
right now we're
el
not thinking
semifinal.
about
Tenemos un
the
partido más.
semi-final.
Sí,
We have
claro.
one more game.
4 goles en casa.
Yeah, we scored 4 games at home. We have a second leg, but in the end,
contra quien de igual,
it doesn't
donde jugamos
matter
siempre,
against who,
queremos jugar
doesn't matter
nuestro
where.
fútbol,
We want to play our game.
Vamos a jugar en Dortmund y
And we're playing in
vamos a ganar.
Dortmund,
Eso es
and we're going to try to
nuestro
win.
objetivo, siempre
That's our
en
objective.
la cabeza. Y
Keeping
sí,
our head
ahora
centered.
estamos muy contentos.
Now we're very
Creo
happy.
que en la segunda parte
I think the
jugamos
second half
muy fuerte, muy bien. Y al final
we played
hemos
very
marcado
strong,
4
very
goles.
well,
¿Qué
and
te
we
parece
ended up scoring
precisamente
4
más
goals.
relevante, más importante, el 4-0, que es un resultado extraordinario, o precisamente la manera de conseguirlo y sobre todo cómo...
He asked him, what's more impressive, the 4-0 result or the way in which you got the
Creo
result?
que de un lado, sí, si tú
From-
tienes 4-0 en primera
on one
parte,
hand, 4-0
en la
in the
segunda
first leg,
parte en Dortmund tienes que
it
jugar
makes
lo mismo o mejor.
your
Eso
second
es
leg
fútbol, siempre tienes que
have to
preparar,
make you play
tienes
better,
que
the same or
estar
better.
preparado
That's football.
Antes cada partido de igual.
You have to prepare every
cuántos,
single game the
goles,
same.
Ya tenemos, pero a la final es
We
Champions
already
League
have
y
4
siempre
goals, but in the Champions League,
queremos jugar a nuestro nivel.
we want to play at our level every
Puede
game.
jugar mejor Lamine Yamal de lo que lo ha hecho hoy.
Can Lamine Yamal play better than he already has?
Creo que jugamos como un equipo.
I think we
es
played like a
lo
team.
más importante.
That's the
Creo
most important thing.
que yo, Lamine o Rafa marcar
Me,
1, 2 o 3
Rafinha,
goles en la final.
or
Marcamos
Lamine
por el
scores
club, por
3 goals,
Barcelona, y,
doesn't matter. We
siempre
score for
queremos
Barcelona.
jugar juntos.
We want to play together.
Sí, entendíamos juntos también muy bueno.
We
no
understand
solo
each
en el
other very
campo,
well.
pero también fuera del campo.
On
al
the field
final,
and off the field.
tenemos muy grande potencial en este equipo.
At the
pero
end
al
of the
final,
day,
sí,
we
es
have a lot
un
of
paso,
potential, this team.
para nosotros en cuartos,
It's
pero
a step
sí, tenemos
into the right
1, 2,
direction in these quarterfinals,
4 pasos más.
but we have
con
4
tu
more steps
rendimiento
to take.
individual, porque son 99 goles con la camiseta del Barça, son
99
40 esta
goals
temporada.
with
Son tus números los que
Barcelona.
tenías más o menos cuando tenías 26,
Drops of
27
stats
años con el
for
Bayern de
him.
Múnich.
Similar
Sí,
stats to
estoy
when
muy
you were
contento, sí,
27 years
claro.
old with Bayern Munich. Yes,
Ahora
I'm very
99,
happy.
sí, goles en,
Now with 99
por el club,
goals.
pero sí, en mi cabeza siempre tengo,
In my head, in my
tengo
mind,
no solo ganar bueno, pero también ayudar al equipo con
not only
mis,
do I want to win, but I want to help the team
mis calidad, también
with
goles.
my
Eso es,
quality and also with
creo
goals.
que delantero siempre tiene que
The
pensar sobre
striker
goles, pero al final,
always needs to think
si
about
jugamos
goals,
como
but at the
bien, para
end,
mí, para todos es más fácil.
if we play well,
Muchas
it's
gracias.
easier for
Ahora
everybody.
la sonrisa de Robert Lewandowski, ahí está.
Very humble. It's, you know, for him it's so normal to score 99 goals. That's the world-class level of Robert Lewandowski.
And he's 36 as well, and he's leading the Champions League in goals. Do we give him enough credit? We talk about the young stars. We talk about, you know, so many top European footballers, Grella, the Ballon d'Or conversation. It feels like his name doesn't get mentioned enough on a lot of occasion.
I think we give him a lot of credit. We try to give him as much as possible. Probably, maybe the world doesn't realize how good he actually is, and he's one of the top players that we've seen in the last 20 years in all of football. I think we can talk about his football and his goal-scoring ability and his strength and his experience, but I think also what he adds to this team that probably doesn't get spoken about enough is this leadership in the locker room. And you know, maybe you can see a little bit of that with this conversation that he has in this interview. Is just so level-headed and so humble and so. It's about the team. It's not about me. It's not about Yamal. It's not about any of these guys. It's about the team. It's about what we're trying to do. I mean, I think he keeps a really good balance, probably in the changing room as well. So he's invaluable. I don't see a lot of teams that have this sort of leadership and this sort of goal-scoring ability, and I think that's probably what, you know, the likes of Arsenal and PSG on the other side are missing, albeit they have a lot of quality. They don't have the center forward with this type of experience, so really good player. Really
I like that.
He's one of the experienced players in a new rebuild at Barcelona with so many young players, and he's one of the top model senior players you could want in your dressing room. I think the whole team dynamic also has to go credit for Hansi Flick, how he does it. My question I was going to ask Nico is this: is it because of the international career for Lewandowski that doesn't quite match up, that you don't think that the world media gives him the credit that he deserves?
I don't know. I think he's arguably the best 9 of this generation. He sits at the table with Benzema, Suarez, Lewandowski, and Kane. That's the table, and I think this guy has everything in his locker to say he's the best of those four.
Well, even this season, we're talking about the Ballon d'Or, and even from Barcelona, Lamine Yamal is in the conversation, Rafinha's in the conversation. Why is Robert Lewandowski not in the conversation with the numbers that he's put up?
It's a great point. It really is, Poppy. I think for me that he doesn't get the credit that he deserves, really and truly, because when you talk about strikers, it's always like we always say it's Harry Kane, this and that, but obviously he's also doing it for England. I think probably the international element plays a part with Lewandowski compared to the other players, and Lamine's in it because of his age, the club, and also he's already done it internationally with Spain. So I think he's a fantastic striker, and I agree with Nico. He's on that same platform.
Right.
When you talk about traditional number nines, everything he can do, scoring outside the box, inside box, natural-born finisher, threat aerially, hold-up play, he is the full package.
Look at how he's grown under Hansi Flick. There's somebody that knows him very well from his time at Bayern. He was good under Xavi, but he wasn't extraordinary like he is this season. He's come back fitter, he's sharper, his sense of goal has developed incredibly. Again, not to say that he wasn't good under Xavi, because he was actually really good under Xavi, but this team, the way that they've blossomed, it's been led. The maturity has been led by a guy, like you said it, Grella, like Lewandowski. For him, he's been here before. Quarterfinals of the Champions League, all right, let's move on. On to the next. We won 4-0. Everybody could be saying, all right, we're in the semi-final, this is done and dusted. It's, for him, this is normal. This is another day in the office.
Well, he's been there before, hasn't he? He won the Champions League with Hansi Flick and Bayern Munich not too long ago. We are live on YouTube, as we mentioned. Glenn is always joining us. And he said, how about the Fermin Lewa connection lately? Lots of connections we could talk about, though, all over the pitch, right?
Sensational. And that Fermin-Lewandowski connection is supported by Pedri and Frankie de Jong. And then you bring Xavi into the mix as well when it's not Fermin.
Let's not forget, they've also got Dani Olmo.
But he's been injured. A lot of the season has been up and down. It's almost like he hasn't been... They can do this without Dani Olmo, which is the crazy thing to say, right? Because he hasn't been that player that maybe we saw at the Euros. No. We knew he was very injury-prone. It ended up being an injury-prone season, plus the whole administrative mess that Barca has on the side. But it's him, it's Ferran Torres as well. The role players, whenever they get an opportunity, they deliver. They understand they're all rowing in the same direction. It's not like Bayern. We talk a lot about Bayern. Look at the role players, how off the mark they are. Leroy Sané, Serge Gnabry, Guerreiro, who has to step in as a 10, being a backup left back. Eric Dyer. That's not an issue whatsoever at Barcelona, because you have a backup center back and coming in Íñigo Martínez when he steps in.
Well, how well he's done
Cubarsí, right? It's either Balde on the left, and then the midfielders that come in. There's a lot of role players that see that opportunity and grab it by the scruff of the neck, and they're not scared, and that's a strength to this Barcelona team.